We got 2 rounds of rain coming in. The first one's a warmer storm with this atmospheric river. Not a lot of snow between now and really Friday at lunchtime because we're in that warm slot. Everything here is tropical moisture. But when we look back this way, we see the next system coming in. This one's still bringing that atmospheric river in, but it's got a lot more colder air with it. So that's going to lower those snow levels as we go Friday and into the weekend. More on that in a second. Today, though, to finish off 2025, 45 in Truckee, 43 in South Lake Tahoe, low to mid 50s in the foothills, 51 in Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park, 58 in Yosemite National Park, 40s in the valley as we're going to be under some of that Tule fog once again through at least the early afternoon, 53 in Bakersfield out along the coast, 60 in Morro Bay, 61 in Big Sur, 58 in Carmel, 58 in Monterey and Salinas and Santa Cruz as well. Working our way up into the San Francisco Bay Area, upper 40s to low 50s. I got 53 in San Francisco this afternoon, 54 in Redding across the North State. We're going to see a lot of those low to mid 50s, 54 Shasta, 53 Mount Shasta, 46 in Wairika out along the coast, more mid 50s and some light showers by the time we get to those early afternoon hours. They're going to see it first, 55 in Eureka, 56 in Fort Bragg across the capital region. We're looking at temperatures in those upper 40s. So upper 40s today, mid to upper 50s tomorrow as that warmer air pushes in. But really the story is all about that rain. A level 2 to 3 atmospheric river. That's a moderate to strong atmospheric river is going to be impacting Northern California starting tonight, continuing into the weekend. As we go through the early part of the day, not much out there, but certainly by the time we get to the evening, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, widespread showers across the valley and across the high country. This is midnight now, 2026, and not a lot of clearing out there. So it will likely be a soggy midnight and all around soggy as we go into January 1st. A little bit of a pause between late Thursday and early Friday as we're in between those systems. And you see system number 2 coming in on Friday and into the weekend. That's going to bring those snow levels down. 1 to 2 inches of rain in the valley over the next 5 days. Winter storm watch across the high country, though, from 4 p.m. Friday to 10 a.m. Sunday, because again, it's going to take a minute for that snow to develop. But once we get into the weekend, then we're looking at 1 to 3 feet of Sierra snow. So more rain and snow on the way to start the new year.
Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Evan Narani. On a wet New Year's Eve, we are going to be bringing in the new year with wet weather and daily wet weather chances all the way through about the first week of it. You see how as we make our way into the afternoon, that chance for rain climbs to about 100%. It's pretty well timed considering we are going to see that chance dwindle as a lot of the festivities get underway past about 5 p.m. Only about a 40% chance as opposed to the 100% chance we'll be seeing closer to noon. There is a flood watch in effect all the way across Orange County, LA County, up through Santa Barbara. But for San Diego, we are free of all watches, warnings, and advisories. It is still going to be wet for us nonetheless. You can see how that rain picks up. Yellow bands starting to show those more moderate areas of activity. And then as we get into the evening, here it is 7 p.m. drying out quite a bit. A little bit of a break in there, overcast skies, and then some showers that'll lead us into the actual new year itself. Going into Thursday morning, we've got more on the way, yellow and orange there, showing that we could get a full inch of additional accumulating rain over the course of our Thursday. Here are those rain chances daily. They drop down quite a bit by the time we get to Friday. That's great news. It seems like post New Year's celebrations might start to become a little bit more dry. So for the 2nd. Then as we get into the weekend and early next week, you can see how those daily rain chances start to pick up once again, 40, 50, 60%. Rain totals in kind of a general sense are expected to be right around an inch. But if we run through about 2 a.m., you can see how we're at a 1/4 of an inch up to 1/2 an inch. And then if we run through the day on Thursday, we'll add things up to about an inch, maybe an inch and a half in some spots. Fallbrook and Palomar Mountain, an inch and a half, 1.4 inches in Oceanside, 1.4 in Carlsbad, and 1.2 in Del Mar. 7-day forecast out by the coast shows today and tomorrow are weather impact alert days, meaning that you should maybe start adjusting some plans depending on if they are outside for today and early tomorrow. Then those daily rain chances all the way through the weekend and next week, you've got a 50, 60% chance. We will likely start to call for more weather impact days as we get into the weekend and next week. It's just a little bit difficult for us to be able to pin down specifics related to what those next waves of wet weather look like, considering we haven't gotten through this immediate event quite yet. We are going to be seeing, however, that chance for rain lingers all the way into next week. Temperatures are a little bit warmer today and then starting to cool down. You might remember yesterday we had those Santa Anas in play and very active, and now we've seen those winds die down. so we'll start to see a cooling trend over the course of the day. Because this is a storm coming from the south of us, it's moving north, it's pulling in warmer equatorial air, and that means that we are not going to be dipping down to the level that would allow for any snow over our local mountains. Instead, we'll stay in the 50s each afternoon. Overnight lows still making it down to the 30s, but not quite freezing. So it's going to be a rain event through and through across our San Diego County mountains. One spot of the county that's expected to see the lightest accumulations overall, that is our local deserts. Deserts are going to stay light, maybe a few tenths of an inch in total. When all is said and done, though, after Thursday, we should have about an inch on the ground. Please have a jacket with a hood, maybe an umbrella to bring with you wherever you go outside for New Year's Eve festivities. And we hope you all have a lovely and safe upcoming weekend as well, with more of that rain on the way.
Hey, I'm meteorologist Brendan Minchef, and we're going to talk about what an atmospheric river is. It's a term you may have heard, you may not be familiar with it, but you may have heard the term Pineapple Express. Not every atmospheric river is a Pineapple Express. However, as we will learn, every Pineapple Express is a type of atmospheric river. So as we look at the map, these are most common along the U.S. West Coast, especially in the wintertime. However, other parts of the United States, including the Gulf Coast and the Northeast, can see atmospheric rivers. And the Gulf of Mexico can act as that moisture source for atmospheric rivers moving up through the southeast and into the northeast. And sometimes you can get a nor'easter that can be attached to an atmospheric river. But let's jump into it. Let's look at the map. Well, when high pressure is sitting off the west coast, what that does is it kind of, for the most part, blocks the moisture from coming in. When high pressure slides a little bit further to the south, and especially when it's coupled with a storm passing through either British Columbia or the Pacific Northwest or even Northern California, what can happen is it can tap in to this atmospheric river. And what that is, it's a narrow band of moisture, about 1,000 miles long or so, and it can pull in a lot of tropical moisture into an area. For instance, this textbook example is showing it impacting California. And when that happens, it can bring a lot of rain. And if it's cold enough or your mountains are high enough, it can bring a lot of snow with it. This type of setup here, where it originates near Hawaii, is a Pineapple Express. Here's some more facts about an atmospheric rivers. Atmospheric rivers carry 7.5 to 15 times the flow of the mouth of the Mississippi River. They vary. Some of them are stronger, some of them are weaker, but they are very, very wet systems, and that's why we get a lot of rain from these. And atmospheric river events are responsible for the majority of the water supply on the U.S. West Coast. Here is a satellite image of an atmospheric river. Again, this is a type of atmospheric river that we might call a Pineapple Express. It originates near Hawaii. High pressure sits here, and so it brings this moisture, for instance, here into California. But if your high pressure is a little bit further north, it can bring that moisture up into the Pacific Northwest. Again, this setup here is a Pineapple Express. So to be clear, a Pineapple Express is an atmospheric river that pulls moisture from Hawaii. But not every atmospheric river is a Pineapple Express. This one here, here's another example. You see the atmospheric river extending out from Hawaii, but that moisture is being pushed into the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia. So every Pineapple Express is an atmospheric river, but not every atmospheric river is a Pineapple Express. And we rank atmospheric rivers based on two things: by the amount of water in them and how long that atmospheric river is going to last. So a weak or level 1 atmospheric river is primarily beneficial, not a lot of flood risk, relatively the same for a level 2 moderate atmospheric river. By the time we start talking about a level 3, AR3 on the scale here, that's a stronger atmospheric river. It's both equal parts beneficial and hazardous, but as soon as you start working your way up in strength to AR category 4, AR category 5 on the scale, well, that means now we're talking about atmospheric rivers that are mostly hazardous or primarily hazardous, meaning they have so much moisture and they're going to last for so long that the flood risk is much higher.